Hi there, Dan West again. Well, this is going to be a little different video for me. One, I first got this computer about 4 years ago. It came with SketchUp, and I'm not unfamiliar with these type of programs because when I was living in France, I bought some property and going to build a home, and I bought a program then, and I learned how to use it and designed my whole home with it. But now, retired, I still do woodworking, but it's on a different level. But I can see where guys who maybe do side work or something and getting into doing cabinetry, the SketchUp, I heard someone talk about it a couple days ago, and I went ahead and downloaded it, just the free option. And I listened to about 8 to 10, maybe 12 real good presenters showing a lot of good tips and do's and don'ts and things you should do at the beginning, like before you even start, save it as a program, a file, what have you, because you're apt to lose it if you don't. And a lot of little touches, and keystrokes and everything. But it still didn't serve my purpose because, see, I have some projects coming up that involve a lot of cabinets, upper and lowers. And that's a lot of takeoff. You got to take off all the sides of your drawer, your fronts and backs, the different lengths, the drawer fronts, doors, cabinet bodies, uppers and lowers. I mean, there's a lot of takeoff on it. And where you spend more time is, what cuts do I make on a sheet of plywood and what's the dimensions? And then you got to identify all this stuff because you get a big pile of wood all over the place, and you can very easily cut and make the wrong cut, and that just knocks the heck out of you, So I was watching these guys, and I said, none of them are really helping me. And even when I was asking for a comment, I said, well, really, it's a good what you did, nice program. But I need cut sheets. I need layout on a sheet of plywood, things like that, And I'm sure they have it if I want to spend a lot of money each year. You can't just buy the program. You got to pay each year. And that's what really stuck me. If I had a one-time buy, I could see put a few $100 out. Every year? No way. So I come across a few things that I know is going to help the guy. And it's very simple. I'm not an expert at all, not even a good guy at this, but it's real simple what I'm going to show you. And I tell you, I wish they'd show me, and I'm using it now on my programs. So, excuse me for some of my, rough work, but I guarantee you'll get something out of it if you've got a bunch of cabinets going, and then as you get more used to the program, you'll get really proficient at it and other designs. But other than that, I'm going to show you what I found out, and I'm sure it's going to help you. So here we go. All right, we're going to start out with a little box here, but first, I made the Baltic birch plywood square there, 60 inches by 60 inches. And of course, you make your file, you save the file and the project, and you add your components. Now here I made a small square, 12 by 12. You make a square triangle, and put your numbers in the lower right hand corner, and then on that same piece, you hit M for move and Control for copy, and then you move to the next one. But you don't do anything else but hit the asterisk now and put the number 3 in there, and it'll automatically multiply it. That saves a lot of trouble, a lot of time. Again, I'm going to do it several times. I'll make a little square here at the bottom, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit M and Control. M is move, copy is Control is copy, and I'm going to move one piece out of it. And before I do anything else, I'm going to hit the asterisk sign or the X, and how many more pieces I want, 5, 6, whatever. I mean, that is handy for drawer fronts, drawer sides, pulls, tops and bottoms. So I'm going to do this again. Okay, another box. Get the rectangle, make any box, the left right side, you just start the box, then a right-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner, put in the size. The width first, and comma, and then the height, and you'll get your piece. And then you go into the box again, tap it, hit M, and Control, move, copy. And then move one piece. And before you touch anything else, hit the asterisk key, and how many more you want, 4, 5, 6, and there you go. I mean, for a cabinet maker, a guy who's a cabinet, this is the big deal. Plus, what you're doing is you're finding out how many pieces you can get in a sheet of plywood. That's what really helps. Less waste. In this case, it's Baltic birch, 60 by 60 inches. I'm leaving a little space in between. When I get more precision that I can put next together, but I was having a bunch of mistakes with it. So now, here's the other part. You hit Tools, come down Tools, it'll drop box, and it'll show Dimension. Click on that, and then you take your little pointer there and hit a corner. You don't have to hold a key down. Go to the other corner, click it, and pull up. And it'll give you the exact dimension. I mean, there it is. Now you're dimensioning all your pieces on a sheet of paper that you can take into the shop and start doing your cuts. I'll repeat this several times with different configurations there, but you're taking your little arrow there, and you're going to Tools. The Tools will give you a drop down. You hit on Dimension, and then you go to whatever one you want. Hit the corner. It goes to the opposite corner. Click again and pull away. And what it'll do, if you have a bank of dimensions like that, you'll feel where you can go as far as you want, or you'll feel a click where it'll keep all in line, like a little notch, a little click, whatever. You can feel it, and that is also, it makes it really neat, and tidy and more professional. So this is really simple. You're dealing in 2 dimensions. The hardest part for me was still getting the green, blue, and red line perpendicular straight in front of me. The orbit key is still not my best friend. But when you make a mistake too, use your eraser or whatever. But be careful. You can erase too much, and I'm not sure how to recuperate some if you undo it. But that's it. There's another thing on top. Your toolbar at the top. You see a little white square with some little letters in it. That's how you label. And I'm going to be showing you that pretty quick. I'm just doing more dimensions for you. Again, you go Tool, drop down, click on Dimensions, and then you go from one corner, and you don't have to hold the key down. Go to the corner, click it again, and pull away. See how they're going right in the line at the bottom? Just nice and neat, It's just really, again, the biggest part for us when we're doing cabinets, a lot of sitting down and trying to get all the dimensions. You've got to make sure those dimensions are right. Here you can see right off the bat, if you mess up. And of course, your detail work as far as how you're constructing your drawers, if you've got a tongue in it or 45, or the different ways of joining your drawers. It's up to you, but if you keep it kind of simple, it's really good. The basic quarter system. You set your saw up one time for, it's half-inch plywood like this is. You set your saw up for a dado stack for an exact 1/4 inch, and you set it up one time, and that's it. Got your slot for your bottom panel. You use slots in your tongue for your drawer assembly. It couldn't be better. It's an old. I use this one of the apprentice back in the 60s. I'm in my 70s right now. So, it's a great thing. Now, here's the labeling. I told you about that. Up in your toolbar, you see a little white square. Click on that. You click anywhere on the piece you want and pull out any direction you want, and it'll give you a little square, and you type in what you want. I mean, this is, bottoms, sides, side 1, side 2, front 1, front 2, back one, back. I mean, you know how you do these things. It could be the long, skinny ones there. You see it right in the corner. It could be uh, what do you call rails for your oh gosh, you know what I'm talking about. You know, your frame of your cabinet, face frame. Those could be rails, it could be stiles, anything. I mean, it just really makes it nice. So that's it. I just wanted to give you something. I wish, even though my work is really crude and very rough, if I'd have seen this, that'd have meant the world to me. And glad I figured it out just now in the last couple of days. And I just thought I'd just pass it on to you guys, even though it's really crudely done. But the results are there. All you need to do with your SketchUp is know how to get it. The hardest part for you is going to be with that orbit, because you want to get this thing on a two-dimensional plane, square in front of you, no angles. You don't need to know how deep the panel is, and then you're going to use the hand is the move, and the one next to it is the orbit is what switches things around. You'll use that. You use a hand. You'll use a rectangle more than anything else, and M for move, and C for control, for copy. And the control key for copy, for duplicating, and that's duplicating your sides, your front backs, your face, your drawer pulls, styles, rails, any number of things, bottoms. I mean, really handy for a cabinet maker. Now, as far as designing other things with potatoes, and, like the other guys jump into, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But I'm talking about what a person like myself who does a lot of cabinets, what have you. This is a real time saver in terms of not just designing the cabinet, but the takeoff. And as far as the cut sheet, well, I go on Excel and make up a sheet, and then just transfer the numbers there. But with this here, you know how many sheets you need. You've got all the pieces laid out. You really don't need much of a sheet. Actually, I would use these sheets and just check them off as you use them, instead of going to a regular cut sheet, just with numbers on it. Here, you can take the actual copy sheet, print it out, and mark off your bottoms as you cut them. All the dimensions are there. So I mean, really, it's a layout and cut sheet all in one. So I hope this helps you. I know it helped me. And again, please excuse the really rough video work here. I'm not used to SketchUp at all. I've only had it on my machine once, the third day, and I'm making a video with it. So either way, as always, man, get in that shop, have a good time, work safe, and as always, don't use any putty. Make good cuts. My email address at the bottom if you want to make a shout at me and tell me how wrong I am or whatever. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.